There was a time when the distance between home and school felt longer than any road you will ever travel as an adult, because every step carried the weight of becoming someone new. Back then, the morning air seemed sharper, the sidewalks wider, and the world louder, even though the streets were quiet and the sky was still stretching awake. You may remember the sound of your shoes tapping pavement, the rhythm becoming a private drumbeat that whispered you were growing up, whether you felt ready or not. That walk was never just about reaching a classroom. It was a quiet training ground where independence began to bloom in unnoticed ways. Each corner you crossed was a tiny promise you made to yourself, a promise that you could move forward without someone holding your hand. Every morning, fear and excitement walked beside you like invisible companions, arguing softly about what the day might bring. Sometimes the sky looked gray and heavy, and sometimes it glowed with gold, but the path remained the same, patiently waiting for your footsteps. And without realizing it, you were learning responsibility long before anyone gave you the word for it. Those simple journeys planted seeds that would later grow into courage, discipline, and a quiet belief that you could face the unknown. But here's what most people never notice until years pass, and life becomes complicated. The walk that once felt ordinary was secretly shaping the way you would handle failure, pressure, and responsibility in the future. At the time, you were only thinking about arriving before the bell rang, about homework, friends, and the small dramas of childhood. You never suspected that the pavement beneath your feet was teaching you how to stand on your own in a much bigger world. This realization often arrives quietly. Years later, when life suddenly demands strength you do not remember learning. In moments of uncertainty, a strange memory surfaces, a younger version of you stepping forward without hesitation, and you begin to wonder when you first learned to trust your own steps. This is where the story deepens, because childhood independence was never truly about distance or direction. It was about identity quietly forming while no one was watching. The truth is, those silent walks were shaping your confidence long before you knew the word confidence existed. And somewhere along that road a lesson appeared that many people spend their entire adult lives trying to relearn. It is the lesson that Dr. Grandpa Henry often reminds us of: small independence becomes powerful destiny. Yet just when this memory begins to feel comforting, something unexpected interrupts the nostalgia. Because the path to school was not always safe, easy, or predictable, there were mornings when clouds gathered, when footsteps behind you sounded unfamiliar, when doubt crept in and whispered that maybe you were not ready after all. And in those moments, the journey changed from routine into a quiet test of courage. You kept walking anyway, quietly growing. There were mornings when the wind felt colder than usual, and the sky seemed to press down like a question you could not answer. And suddenly, that familiar road did not feel so friendly anymore. The same sidewalks that once felt like a playground began to look like a test. And every passing car or distant sound stirred a quiet awareness that the world was bigger and more unpredictable than you first believed. It was in these moments that the walk transformed from routine into responsibility, and responsibility into character. You learned to look both ways without being told, to tighten your backpack straps when the wind pushed harder, and to keep moving even when doubt tried to slow your steps. No teacher handed you a worksheet for these lessons, yet they became some of the most valuable education you would ever receive. The world was gently asking a question every morning. Will you keep going, even when no one is watching? And without fully understanding the importance, you answered yes again and again. That silent commitment built a foundation stronger than grades or applause, a foundation made from quiet perseverance. But as life moved forward and the years passed, something unexpected began to happen. The same courage that once felt natural slowly faded into the background as adulthood filled your days with noise, responsibilities, and expectations. Suddenly, decisions felt heavier, risks felt scarier, and the simple act of trusting yourself felt more complicated than it ever did when you were young. The irony is almost heartbreaking, because the fearless child who once walked alone now sometimes hesitates at crossroads far less intimidating. This is the suspenseful truth that catches many people off guard. The independence you once had did not disappear. It simply went quiet beneath the weight of modern life. And when life becomes overwhelming, you may feel as if confidence is something you must search for, something lost somewhere in the chaos. Yet the deeper truth is that confidence is not missing at all. It has been waiting patiently in the background, shaped long ago by those early journeys you barely remember. Every adult challenge echoes the same question you faced on that childhood road. Will you keep walking forward even when uncertainty whispers to turn back? The fear may feel bigger now, the stakes may feel higher, but the essence of the challenge has never changed. The path simply grew longer, and the destination less visible. That realization can feel unsettling, because it means the answers you seek have been with you longer than you realized. It means the strength you admire in others was quietly forming inside you before you even knew how to name it. And once that idea settles in your mind, a powerful shift begins to take place. You start to recognize that courage was never something reserved for dramatic moments. It was built in quiet mornings, step by step, long before life became complicated. Now the memory of that simple walk begins to feel less like nostalgia and more like a map, a reminder that the strongest parts of your character were built in ordinary moments that never asked for applause. When you look back, you can almost see the younger version of yourself moving forward without overthinking, without waiting for perfect conditions, and without demanding guarantees. That younger version understood something powerful that adulthood often forgets. Progress is created by movement, not certainty. Life rarely announces the perfect time to begin, and the future never sends invitations confirming that everything will be safe. Yet somehow, a child stepping onto a sidewalk accepts this uncertainty without resistance and keeps going anyway. That quiet acceptance is the seed of real confidence. It is not loud or dramatic, and it does not need recognition to exist. It grows slowly through repetition, through small acts of bravery that seem insignificant in the moment, but become life-changing in hindsight. As the years pass, responsibilities grow heavier, expectations louder, and the fear of failure more persuasive. Many people begin to wait for permission before taking action, forgetting they once trusted themselves enough to step into the unknown every single morning. The lesson hidden in those childhood walks is not about distance or destination, but about rediscovering the courage to move before everything feels certain. Independence does not suddenly appear in adulthood. It must be practiced in small, intentional ways until it becomes familiar again. Choosing to try something new, making a difficult decision, or taking responsibility for your direction may feel intimidating, but the truth is that you have been training for these moments longer than you realize. The same spirit that carried you forward as a child still exists within you, waiting for acknowledgement. When you begin to trust that inner strength again, the world slowly shifts from intimidating to full of possibility. The road ahead may not always be easy or predictable, but it does not need to be. What matters is the willingness to take the next step, even when the destination is unclear. Each small act of independence becomes a reminder that you are capable of more than fear suggests. Each decision to keep moving becomes proof that growth never truly stops. The path you once walked to school was only the beginning of a much larger journey, and the lessons learned along the way were never meant to stay in the past. They were meant to guide you through every challenge that followed. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.